What's up, everybody? Phillies pregame live. The Phillies trying to stop getting swept by the San Francisco Giants. Stop the bleeding out west. We're going to be live. Phillies trying to stop 30 seconds getting swept by the San
Holding gets around in front.
And Philadelphia has it.
What is up, everybody? How we doing this afternoon? Phillies pregame live right here on DSM Media. Phillies have now dropped 5 of their last 6, 4 of 5 on this West Coast trip. They face the San Francisco Giants this afternoon at 4:05. We're going to go over it. Excuse me. We're going to do the lineups, pitching matchups, some different odds and ends, and see what the keys are for the Phillies to break this slide, end on a positive note out west before they come home and try to have a really strong 10-game stretch here against the Marlins and the Nationals. I am Phil Stiefel. Make sure you shoot me a follow at Beard and Knowledge, guys, and make sure you like and hit subscribe, to the DSM Media YouTube page. Drop your comments, your predictions for today's game there on YouTube. Help us build that algorithm. Help us build us up the charts here. This is my second time going live today, trying to do some different things here on this day off while I'm home alone. And, we're going to talk some Phillies. We haven't had a Phillies pregame live show here on DSM in a little bit, so we're going to get it going right now. All right, so obviously we know the Phillies have now struggled on this West Coast trip. On Monday, on Trending in the AM, I said, don't be surprised if 3-3 was the best they could do. A win today only gets them to 2-4. I told everybody this was going to be a really tough road trip. The Diamondbacks and the Giants, much better than their record appears, much better teams than people realize, much better than the teams we had been playing, the Reds and the Pirates, which was giving us false sense of hope for the Fightins. And it's playing out exactly. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that I've watched 3 hours of every single baseball game. These West Coast things, when you wake up early for shows and for work, you can't stay up till 2 a.m. But I've watched enough of them, and I've watched enough of the highlights, and I've read enough of what happened in these games to know what the problems are. And the problem is they're just getting outplayed. They're getting out hit. They're getting out pitched. They're out hustled, out energied, out everything. And it's frustrating. And it's frustrating to me and, to Phillies fans that they're just not coming out with any harder hustle. You got Bryce Harper back. I know we are devastated by injuries. Nick Castellanos just went on the IL today. Oblique. He might be done. I mean, honestly, at this point between that, the turf toe, if we don't bust out of something, we might not see him play again this year. I mean, odds are maybe he'll be back by the playoffs, but, literally, Monday morning, we were like a 90% likelihood plus, 90+% likelihood of making the playoffs. We have now dropped to 77%. Still pretty odds-on favorite to get that last wild card spot to keep dwindling. Reinforcing it would be winning today. And it is not going to be an easy task for the Phillies. They're going up against Carlos Rodon, San Francisco Giants pitcher. Surprised he did not get moved at the trade deadline. I know the Phillies called probably. I would be shocked if the Phillies did not call, Dave Dombrowski did not call the Giants looking to make a move for him. One of the best pitchers in baseball, obviously, hands down, strikes out a crap ton of batters. And we're going to get into the Phillies lineup and how they perform against Carlos Rodon in their careers. But he strikes out a ton of batters. It's going to be a really, really tough matchup for Ranger Suarez and the Phillies today. Now, before we get into the matchups, for the keys to victory and the lineup, I do want to make a confession. I am a little biased, a little ulterior motive, I should say, on why I wanted to do pregame live today. I wanted to clear something up here. I wanted to clear up a theory and a thread. And I don't want to call them out by name because I do enjoy their content. But I got into it on social media this week, late in the week, beginning of the weekend, with another group of content creators. And they basically, I'm going to read this out without saying their names. If you hop off the Phillies train as they lead a playoff spot, and this was from a couple days ago, as they lead a playoff spot by 3.5 games with 30 to play, Don't change your tune for round one when they get in. They ran into an Arizona team and a San Francisco team that are playing great. Blah 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 blah. So basically, what this thread is saying is that when things go wrong with the Phillies, don't jump off the bandwagon because they see people criticizing the play and the Phillies and saying they stink and whatnot. And yes, there's that 1 or 2% of Phillies fandom out there that are, they're bums, they suck, whatever. But a majority of us we're not jumping off the bandwagon. We are criticizing what we see. There's a 162 game baseball season. There's a lot of highs. There's a lot of lows. And it is okay to be cheering them on when they're playing well and booing them when they play poorly. It's one thing to just be, they suck, they're bums, blah, blah, blah. But it's another thing to unbiasedly just criticize why they are struggling. And I hate the theory that you're not a fan, and it was discussed in this thread. You're not a fan, and you can't cheer for them when they make the playoffs if you criticize them when they are losing. And I wanted to get this off my chest because this really pisses me off. It really annoys me, that theory. And they're not the first people to say this. There's a lot of people that say this. I'm in boatloads of Facebook groups to promote these shows that DSM does, and then I do. And there's those fans that, you suck if you criticize. You suck if you boo. Well, you know what? I'm a realistic fan, and I'm trying to create content here. And it is okay to criticize when Aaron Nola comes up small. The people that said when Aaron Nola got blown out the other night, well, why aren't we criticizing the offense? Well, the offense went up against Zach Gallen, one of the best pitchers in baseball, and they got shut down. Aces go up against aces of other teams. Aaron Nola came up super small. Zach Gallen did not all week. Phillies going up against really good pitching. Yeah, the offense needs to do better. They need to see more pitches. They got to be more aggressive, whatever it may be. But you can criticize with still being a fan. The theory and the thought process that you're not a fan and you're jumping off the bandwagon because you are criticizing your team for coming up super small. If they're as good as people think they are, 90, 92 wins, whatever they are projected to be at, which they're not anymore now because of this West Coast trip, you're not a fan? Stop. It is okay to criticize, to want better, to discuss what's going wrong now, to see if they have the ability to improve upon it. So I don't want to spend too much more time on that. But it really annoys me, that theory and that kind of a thread that people put out there, that you're not a fan if you criticize. Because it is okay. Today, you got Ranger Suarez going up against Carlos Rodon. It is going to be a super tough matchup for the Phillies. They may lose. They may end up, I said 3-3 max, probably 2-4. There is a strong chance they lose today and go 1-5 on this road trip. Doesn't mean they're not making the playoffs, but it does give us something. It gives us information on what this team has as flaws. We're learning a lot about this team this week. You learned a little bit against the Reds in Cincinnati, that they could beat up on bad teams, that lost to Pittsburgh at the end of that series. That's a big deal. They needed to sweep that series as well. Tough to sweep back-to-back series, but they needed that. They have one more win right now. It'd be a little different of a story. But when you lose to these teams, the Diamondbacks and the Giants, not playoff teams, but good teams, teams that hold, you learn something. We are learning what is wrong with the offense. We are learning the problems with this bullpen and the starting pitching. Look, the injuries are continuing to pile up all year for this team. The fact that they have hung in there as long as they have says something about this team. Come on. Got one of the highest payrolls in baseball. The guys that are still playing need to step up and do their job. And let's see who is stepping up today. So let's get in today's lineup against Carlos Rodon. Video or graphic here done by my main man KC. Flex Snapbacks on Twitter. Make sure you give him a follow. Kyle Schwarber leading off playing left field. Reese Hoskins second, as always, first base. Alec Boehm, third base. Harper, DH is the 4-hole. JT Realmuto catching, fifth spot. Pretty much set in stone there. Now, no Nick Castellanos. You got Gene Segura at second base batting 6. Bryson Stott playing shortstop 7. Matt Vierling in center field. And Nick Maton in right field. Again, Ranger Suarez, is your starting pitcher for the Phillies today. Is this the right lineup? I guess. There's not much. You can bump Stott up 1, drop Segura to 7. That's basically it. With no, Brandon Marsh could be in there in center field, and Matt Vierling could be in right field. Whatever. Some people seem to like Nick Maton. I could care less one way or the other who plays there. It's all going to come down. It doesn't matter who's in right, Maton and Marsh and Vierling. It comes down to those top 4 or 5 guys in the lineup performing today and attacking Carlos Rodon. Schwarber needs to get on base. Schwarber needs to hit. Hoskins needs to do what he does. Bohm needs to continue to play. Harper needs to be effective. Now, I got up on a side screen here what these guys' career numbers are against Rodon. Is it Rodon? Rodon? I don't know. Carlos. We'll just call him Carlos. All right, Schwarber's 3 of 7. He does have him in his book. He does have 1 home run against him. 3 of 7 in his career. Reese Hoskins is 1 of 3 against him. Bohm is 0 for 3 against him. Harper has never hit against him. JT is 2 for 6. Segura and Vierling, nothing. Stott's 1 for 2 against him, and Maton is 1 for 2 against him. So very little experience against a guy in Carlos Rodon that is a great pitcher. Now I'm switching here. I want to bring up, where he's at lately. His last outing against San Diego on the 29th on Monday. He did not pitch well. He went 4 innings only, gave up 5 runs, walked 4, which he does not do a lot of. Gave up 4 hits, only struck out 2 through 94 pitches in 4 innings. They got beat 6-5 in that game. But before that, he went 1 run, 1 run, 2 run, 1 run, 0 run. There was a 2-game stretch in July where he gave up 5 runs back to back. But man, this guy's his strikeouts are insane. He is 4th in the league in strikeouts at 191 strikeouts this year. 17th in whip at 106, so he does not walk a lot. He does not give up a lot of base runners. He's only had a pitch over 100 pitches 4 times since the start of July. So he does this effect. Actually, now as I'm breaking it down, look at more. 5 innings, 6 innings, 5. So you can get him out of here is what I'm seeing. All right, let's shrink that lineup up a little bit there. Keep it off to the side. You can chase him from the game quickly is what that's telling me. As I do research live on the air and do it, kind of spur of the moment here. You can chase him from this game. You absolutely can. So that's what it takes. It's going to take Schwarber, Hoskins, Bohm, Harper, Real Muto, the top guys in this lineup. Seeing pitches, getting on base, and attacking him early. That's what it's going to take. And they can do it. They have to do it at this point. You come home after a 6-game West Coast trip against 2 teams that are below 500, and you win 1 of 6 games, and that's a bad taste in your mouth on that long plane ride home. Bad taste. So they need to be able to come out, attack him today, and get him out of the game early. So on the other side of the equation, though, we have to stop them. We have given up. The Phillies have given up a lot of runs lately. Bad pitching. It's been a combination of bad starting pitching and bad relief pitching. I mean, let's just look at 5 runs yesterday, 13 runs the day before that. That one game where we won 18-2, but then 12, 13, 5. I mean, giving up a lot of runs lately. Pitching is not a strength right now. Gibson, the bullpen, Nola, Sanchez, Syndergaard, everybody's pitching poorly right now. Well, it's time for them to step up. And how do they do that? Starts with Ranger Suarez today, who overall has pitched really well lately and bringing up his last 5 outings in his whole entire year here. Last time out, gave up 2 runs, only got through 3 2/3 innings. That can't happen. The start before that, where he gave up 5 2/3 innings, gave up 3 runs. He battled in that Cincinnati start where we won, but he only was able to get through 5 2/3. I'm looking back to his loss against Cincinnati and his win against the Mets, where he went 7 innings, didn't even get to 100 pitches through 7 innings. That is what we need from Ranger Suarez tonight. We need him to step up, be effective, and get through innings easily. He has struggled to put hitters away lately. Can't be the case. Can't be the case tonight. He needs to put guys away early, often, and quickly. Absolutely. We need the Ranger Suarez we saw there for a stretch where he was dominant for a stretch there. He had dropped his ERA from 4.07 down to 3.31. And, well, actually, he dropped it from 4.43 down to that, if you go back even further. We need that guy tonight. We need him to step up and be effective tonight for this to even have a chance. Because when you get to the bullpen, who knows? Notes on the pitching. Zach Eflin and Sir Anthony Dominguez did have throwing sessions this weekend. There's a talk that they're going to appear in games this upcoming week in the minor leagues. Their rehab is going to start. Maybe we get some relief here down the line. We pushed back Zach Wheeler coming back. Don't know if and when he is going to be around. If at all. Who knows at this point what's going on with Zach Wheeler. It'd be great to get some reinforcements. Hell, Zach Eflin, at this point, if he comes back with 2 weeks in the season, you all know I'm not a Zach Eflin fan, but maybe in the bullpen, help out a little bit, back into the bullpen, middle of the bullpen, who knows? I'd rather roll out with Bailey, don't call me Bradley Falter at this point than Zach Eflin. He's earning something there, Falter, for sure. So we'll see how this all plays out. What are the keys to victory? Like I said, getting Carlos Rodon out of the game fast and Ranger Suarez being able to go 7. If we can get Rodon out of there before the 5th inning is over, or hell, if we get him out of there with 5 innings or left pitched and Ranger Suarez can go 7, we have a shot. Will they do it? I don't know. I mean, I bring up Ranger Suarez's numbers. Let me bring up what this Phillies lineup has done against Ranger Suarez here real quick. San Francisco lineup, Ranger Suarez. And this is concerning to me because I remember looking this up before the show started. The top 5 guys in the lineup have all faced Ranger. 6 of these guys have faced him overall. Top 5 guys: 2 for 7, 4 of 8, 1 of 2, 2 of 3, 0 of 2, and then Gonzalez. They're 9-hole hitters, 1 of 2. There's some guys that have faced and had success against Ranger Suarez in this lineup. Am I concerned? Yeah, I am concerned. The matchup predictor on ESPN has a 57 to 42% prediction. San Fran's going to beat the Phillies today. Man, guys, I'm not trying to say the world's falling. It's not collapsing. We got Miami. We got the Nationals. We got some easy games coming up. Let's be realistic here. This is a black mark on this second half of the season, we'll say, for the Phillies. Not good. Not good at all. Disappointing. And a problem. Look, will the Phillies win today against the San Francisco Giants? I can't give an exact prediction, yes or no. I'm not betting it, that's for sure. You know, I know when Dylan and George do the pregame shows, they do their best bets. There is not a damn chance in the world that I am predicting or laying a bet on a score for this Phillies game. No way whatsoever. I have to think, though, and hope that our Titans have the ability to dig deep down and get a win today. So I will say, as a prediction, Phillies win 5-4. End it on a positive note, and then start their trek home. Where do they go? Let me look at this schedule here real quick. I'm pretty sure it's Tuesday off. It is. It's Monday off, then start a 3-game against Miami, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Then 3 next weekend against the Nationals. Then back on the road for 3 against Miami. There's a 9-game stretch. I thought it was a 10-game stretch. It's a 9-game stretch that they can easily go 7-2, 8-1. Will they? I don't know. But it has to start with them winning today to get this taste. I mean, seriously, the difference between going 1-5 and 2-4 on a West Coast trip is massive. Bad. It's a big difference. The emotions different. We have now slipped to the third wild card spot. I think we only have I'm switching screens again, and I'm switching so many screens right now. We are up 2.5 games over the Milwaukee Brewers right now, over that final wild card spot. Still means we're probably there. Let me check the rest of the box scores here today. Has Milwaukee played yet today? Let me see what we got. St. Louis Cubs 0-0. Let's see here. Milwaukee plays at 4 o'clock as well. They're going up against Arizona right now, who's a red hot team. And we're putting our backs up against the wall here. So let's see if they could dig deep down. Dig down deep. Man, it's a struggle today on this one here. Dig down deep. Bryce Harper, Reese Hoskins, Alec, all those guys at the top of the order. Show some life, show some energy, show some pride in what they do, and get the W today. I am Phil Stifle. This was a Phillies short pregame live, like I said earlier in the show. Ulterior motive. Wanted to call out the whole "you're not a fan" thing. I appreciate you watching. Make sure you hit the like and the subscribe button right here on DSM Media. I'll be live tomorrow morning, trending in the AM, Overreaction Monday. Let me tell you something. We're going to start our Eagles-Lions talk on Trending the AM tomorrow for the week. If they lose today, I guarantee my first Overreaction Monday statement is going to be about the Phillies tomorrow morning. So make sure you log in and you subscribe to the DSM Media YouTube page so you don't miss it. Everybody have a great day. Go Eagles. Go Phillies. Go Sixers. Go everybody. But, let's ring the bell today. And, let's go Phils.